Before the Amanda the Adventurer that we all know today, there was another game. The Amanda pilot episode. The pilot episode was a short demo made for an indie game jam in 2022 and has long been a point of controversy within the Amanda community. From the very beginning, people have debated whether or not that this pilot episode is even canon to the story. The pilot feels strangely disconnected from the main games, which are of course Amanda 1 and 2. And at times, the pilot episode outright contradicts the later games. And buried inside this short demo is hidden lore and secrets that have not been explained to this day. Like, who exactly is the character we play as in the pilot episode? Who is Wooly in the original game? And who is the mysterious man in the Woods tape? In the pilot, you play as an unnamed character trapped in a small room with nothing but a couch, a TV, and a mysterious VHS for a children's show. Amanda the Adventurer. Despite not getting first place in the game jam, that title goes to a game called 2000 Navid's Lane.
What the hell is even that?
It found a lot of success outside of the competition and was played by a bunch of popular creators. It was so popular, in fact, that the studio behind the game jam, Dread XP, partnered with another studio, Mangled Maw, to produce a full version of the Amanda game, which of course led to the Amanda game that we are all familiar with. But so many things in this pilot episode to this day have still gone unexplained. Like, is this game canon? I've made a huge library of Amanda videos, but I have never touched the pilot episode because I've always been skeptical about whether or not it's even canon, which is why I left it out of my 33-minute lore timeline video. But from what I can tell, the community has no consensus on whether or not it's canon. It's a different answer depending on who you ask. And what can I say? The curiosity got to me. So I went back to the demo to see if I could get a definitive answer to whether or not it's canon, and also answer all of the previous questions I just brought up. If this game is canon to the overarching story, it could change everything we know about Amanda the Adventurer. And not only do I think I found the answer to those 4 questions, but I've packed them all into 4 separate mini theories that will solve all of the mysteries surrounding the pilot demo.
This motherfucker don't miss.
So let's start with the obvious question. Is the pilot canon? Canon, of course, meaning that it's part of the official storyline and actually counts. Because if it's not, this entire video was pointless. Oh my god. Guys, it feels so good to be in front of the camera again, bro. Like, I know that some of you guys know, but I'm a college student, so I be trying to balance these videos with also like going to classes and stuff. And I mean, I don't know if like some of you guys watching this video are in college or if you're in high school or whatever, but those of you that are in college know, like, it just be moving so fast. Like, life does not stop for you. Like, it's just go, go, go. Like, every week is a different plot twist, bro.
Beautiful morning. Get the sun in the morning.
I'm so tired. Sometimes in life, you just got to be grateful for, you know, something in your life. So I'm just grateful that I'm doing what I love right now, which is making videos and talking to you guys and making content, okay?
Content!
But real quick, if you do go on to enjoy the video, please consider subscribing. We are right on the cusp of 10K, and y'all know what happens if we hit it. But with all that being said, let's get into the breakdown.
Let's go!
But first, let's do a quick recap of the demo just so we're all on the same page. The first tape of the pilot demo follows Amanda and Wooly going to the store to buy apples, despite Wooly saying he's allergic to apples.
I'm allergic to apples.
That's okay.
I don't give a shit, dude!
The second starts with Wooly trying to warn us of something,
Whatever you do, don't.
Hi, everyone.
before Amanda stops him and takes him to the meat store. This whole tape is very reminiscent of Oh No Accidents from Amanda 1. The next tape, tape 3, is basically just a shorter version of the Let's Hunt for Treasure tape from Amanda 2, where Amanda and Wooly go digging in the woods for treasure. But Wooly breaks character completely and tells us to burn the tapes.
You, take the tape out now and destroy them. Burn them. Whatever. Just get rid of these other tapes. Do you hear me? You can't let anyone else watch these.
And is then killed by Amanda. Which brings us to the fourth and final tape, where Amanda is posted up outside of our house, and then the demon kills us. There's also 2 bonus tapes you can unlock by typing in a secret answer. One follows an unnamed man going to a mysterious spot in the woods to burn the VHS tapes, but a supernatural force stops him. And the other is a secret puzzle involving Wooly's name. We'll talk about these bonus tapes a little bit later in the video. They'll become very important. Now, even though a lot of stuff in the pilot episode does contradict the stuff we see later in the games, there is one piece of evidence that has led a lot of the community to speculate that it could be canon. In the first official Amanda the Adventurer game, you can unlock a bonus tape called Summer 1989. It cuts together a bunch of different Amanda episodes. It's mostly there to help solve one of the final puzzles, but inside that tape is a clip straight from the pilot episode. And since the first game is undeniably canon, this tiny cameo basically confirms it. The pilot episode has to exist somewhere in the official timeline. However, this doesn't excuse the obvious disconnects between the pilot episode and the main games. Firstly, the pilot shows Amanda as the villain and Wooly as the victim, which completely flips the dynamic we see in the mainline games, where Wooly is actually the villain and Amanda is the victim. The drawings on the wall also claim that there's no studio or no cast associated with the show, which directly contradicts the main timeline because it's well known that Hamlin is the studio behind Amanda and Rebecca is the main cast member. These obvious contradictions have always made it difficult for me to really believe that this pilot episode is canon. The truth is, the pilot was made for a game jam, which means that the devs only had a few days to a week to put the entire game together. So naturally, some ideas were rushed, the details were probably rough, and not everything lines up perfectly with the bigger story that they would eventually build in the future games. I mean, they obviously didn't have that much time to work out the lore during the jam. Once they had more time, the devs could flesh out the world properly, but not in this original build. I mean, keep in mind, right? The game jam was found footage themed, and the directions literally state that the game had to be lost episodes of TV shows or films that have never seen the light of day. Which goes against everything we know about Amanda, because in the world of the story, we know that Amanda was a super popular show, not some lost TV show. So despite its cameo in Amanda 1, I don't think the pilot demo should be considered canon. In real life TV shows, it's common for pilot episodes to feel disconnected from the rest of the show, because oftentimes they're made before a studio picks up the project. The Amanda pilot feels exactly like that. It's more of a proof of concept than an actual piece of the timeline. I mean, I guess you could argue that these tapes were like some kind of early test demo footage that Hamlin produced, but I don't know, I highly doubt it. So to summarize this section of the video, while I do think there is reason to believe that the pilot episode is canon, there's just too many retcons and too many contradictions that I do think it should be looked at as its own individual story. So in other words, no, it's not canon. So this whole video is pointless, right?
Wrong.
Even though it's not technically part of the main timeline, there is still so much interesting and hidden lore in this demo that we need to talk about. And some of the theories even connect to the main games in pretty crazy ways. So let's get to the first of 4 mini-theories. The pilot follows a mysterious unknown character who discovers VHS tapes in their attic. This person frantically scribbles messages all over the walls, so they clearly have a few screws loose. But those scribbles actually give us really important clues about their possible identity. Now, of course, it's possible that the main character of this game is just some random throwaway protagonist that has no ties to the main games. In fact, I honestly think that might be the most likely option, but this is such a boring way of looking at things and doesn't make for a good theory, so let's talk about some more interesting possibilities. And lucky for you guys, I have 2 solid guesses for the protagonist's identity. So a couple writings on the wall tell us a few important things. Number 1, the tapes are found in the attic, and number 2, the character constantly feels like they're being followed. And both of these details line up perfectly with the major character from the main series. You guys probably know who I'm talking about. It's John C. On Kate. It's on Kate. Remember, the first Amanda the Adventurer game takes place in Aunt Kate's attic, where her niece Riley discovers the same set of tapes. That connection alone makes Kate the strongest candidate for who we're playing as in the pilot. In addition to that, a secret tape in Amanda 2 tells us Kate knows she's being followed by Hamlin.
If they're coming for me, they're coming for me. She's made contact with Kate.
Which lines up perfectly with these scribbles on the wall. So it has to be her, right?
Wrong.
Even though Kate does seem like the obvious answer, there's some contradictions that make this impossible. Number 1, the main character of the pilot demo gets killed by the demon at the end of the game. And we know that Kate dies much later in a car crash, so that's one contradiction. On top of that, the pilot character explicitly states in writing on the wall that they randomly found the tapes in their attic, like they just appeared one day. Whereas Kate Park specifically placed the Amanda tapes into her basement for her niece Riley to find later on. They didn't just spawn in the attic one day. I mean, sure, if you treat the pilot as its own standalone story, I guess it could technically still be Kate, but I don't know, I'm not really buying it. Fortunately though, I do have one more pretty solid theory, and it's actually pretty interesting. It's probably not who you think either. I think the person that we play as in the pilot could actually be Mr. Park, Riley's dad and Kate's brother.
Who?
Mr. Park has never made an appearance in the series. The only time he's even mentioned is in a note from the first game where Riley writes a note to her aunt and thanks her for buying her roller skates and says that her dad keeps falling over trying to use them. That's it. That's all we know about him. So why on earth would I have any reason to believe that Riley's dad, Mr. Park, is the person we play as in the demo? Well, it's mainly because of this one single painting on the wall next to the TV that shows a portrait of what looks like two siblings. Now I, along with a lot of other people, have speculated that this painting could be alluding to Amanda and Wooly. I'll talk about this a little bit more in the next theory, but it's heavily implied in this demo that Amanda and Wooly are siblings. However, I actually don't think that this painting is alluding to that. I think we've been looking at it all wrong. For starters, the kids in the picture are white, while Amanda is black. I mean, that alone shuts down the whole theory, to be honest. What really stood out to me though is that the more I looked at this painting, the kid on the back has a striking resemblance to Aunt Kate. Same dirty blonde hair, same shirt color, and even the same jeans. Say what you want about these games, but they're usually pretty intentional with their costume choices, so I'd be surprised if this wasn't intentional. So it only makes sense that if this girl in the back is supposed to be Aunt Kate, then this boy in the front with the matching blonde hair is most likely Kate's brother, which would obviously be Mr. Park. We already ruled out why the protagonist can't be Kate. So if this house was Mr. Park's, it makes perfect sense that he would have a picture of his sister on the wall. I mean, plenty of people keep family photos in their homes all the time. Okay, but hold on. Why would Mr. Park be involved with the Amanda tapes in the first place? I mean, wasn't that Kate's mission? And she never once mentioned her brother being part of that operation. Well, sure, but I think that we're looking at this a little backwards. I don't think we should be asking why Mr. Park is involved. I think we need to be asking a different question. Why is Riley involved? I mean, why did Kate of all people choose to drag her niece Riley into this mess in the first place? I mean, most people are obviously close with their aunts, but getting your niece involved in a dangerous demonic rescue operation, I mean, that's a bit much. So think about it this way. If Kate and Riley are really close, then it only makes sense that Kate was also close with her brother too. I mean, after all, if Kate and Riley's dad didn't get along, then I doubt that Kate and Riley would even be close. And if Kate was close with her brother, would she really go to his daughter first, risking her safety without telling her brother anything about Amanda? I mean, that just doesn't add up. She would only do that if Mr. Park was already dead. So maybe Kate did tell her brother first. And maybe that's why we never hear anything about Mr. Park in the main games. His story already ended. He died to the demon at the end of the pilot demo. So there you go. I think that's actually one pretty solid theory as to who the main character of this demo could be. I also think it's possible he could just be a nobody, but since that's boring, I'm gonna say my official guess is Mr. Park. So that solves that mystery. Time for theory 2. This theory stems from one single moment in the first game where Wooly says this.
Today, we're going to get meat for Grandma.
But isn't Grandma a vegetarian?
Can you tell us where the butcher is?
Wooly says that Grandma is a vegetarian, which is already a weird comment to begin with, but this also implies that Wooly and Amanda have the same grandma, which would technically make them siblings. This, plus that portrait on the wall I talked about, has led to a lot of speculation that Amanda and Wooly are related. Believe it or not though, I actually don't believe this to be the case. This theory is a little bit different from the other ones in this video because it's less about me making a theory and more about me disproving a popular one. I already laid out why the painting doesn't work, but on top of that, Amanda in the pilot just hates Wooly. Like actually hates him, not like typical sibling rivalry BS like,
I'm gonna kill you and watch you bleed out slowly
type of hate. And that's exactly what happens too. Wooly tries to warn us about the nature of the tapes and then Amanda slimes him out. His remains even show up in the following tape. But the real reason I don't think they're siblings is because I actually have a much stronger guess for Wooly's identity in the pilot demo that actually has some pretty good evidence behind it. It's funny, no matter how many videos I make, I'm always coming back to this question. Who is Wooly? Who is Wooly? So once again I ask, who is Wooly? Who is Wooly? In the main games, I do think that we've cracked Wooly's identity, which is Marcus, which I've talked about in previous videos. But I do think that since the pilot demo is its own standalone story, I do think that Wooly's identity is actually different in the demo. Keep in mind, a key part of my Wooly theory is that he's a Hamlin spy, and Hamlin didn't even exist in the original pilot, so there's no way he could be the same person. So here's my take. In the pilot, Wooly is not Marcus. I have reason to believe that he's actually one of the victims that got sucked into the Amanda show. And when you look closely, there's a surprising amount of evidence for this. For starters, this game feels very heavily inspired by a movie called Sinister. This movie's kinda hard to explain, but I'm gonna try my best because it's important for the point I'm making about Wooly. In that movie, a true crime writer moves his family into a new home and discovers a box of old VHS tapes in the attic. These tapes contain an evil spirit that follows the family around no matter where they go, like a supernatural parasite. And the same thing happens here. The Amanda tapes just appear out of nowhere in the attic, and the main character, possibly Mr. Park, writes on the wall that he has no idea how they got there. There's also a bunch of drawings on the wall about the main character tweaking out because he feels like he's being watched constantly, which is exactly what happens in Sinister. He observes the person watching and feeds on the souls of the family's children by possessing them into murdering their own families. And then the kids write writings on the wall in blood. Damn. Just like the pilot episode. Yeah, this movie's pretty fucked up. I did a bad job of explaining it, but it's actually pretty solid, like analog horror. So if you guys are into this type of thing, which I assume you are if you're into Amanda, I would actually highly recommend this movie. But you guys see what I mean, right? Like outside of the whole kids murdering their family thing, the story of Sinister is almost identical to that of Amanda. What matters though is how this movie ends. After the main character's daughter is possessed into killing the whole family, Mr. Boogie pulls her into the cursed tapes, trapping her inside his world. And I think something very similar is happening in the Amanda pilot. Wooly isn't Marcus here. I think Wooly is simply the last victim that watched the Amanda show and got pulled into it, just like Sinister. This would explain why Wooly knows so much about the tapes, and why he tries to warn the player to stay away.
You, take the tape out now and destroy them. Burn them. Whatever, just get rid of these other tapes.
Who better would know the dangers of watching the tapes than a past victim? Basically, I think the Amanda show is a deadly cycle. Wooly is the previous viewer trapped under Amanda's control, stuck in a kind of purgatory of sorts, until his inevitable death at the hands of Amanda. This perfectly explains Amanda and Wooly's confusing relationship and why Amanda is torturing Wooly in the way that she does. So it's possible that the person we play as in the pilot, Mr. Park, could actually be the next Wooly. Just not the Wooly we see in the main games. I mean, yeah, that's not confusing at all, right? So sure, Wooly was a person that got sucked into the show, but that doesn't tell us what his exact identity is. Well, luckily for you guys, I think I actually have a pretty decent guess as to his exact identity in the demo. Yeah, what can I say? Your boy's out here.
This motherfucker don't miss.
Which leads us perfectly into the next theory. In the pilot, there's a bonus tape you can unlock of a man in a forest. He places the Amanda VHS tapes under a wooden spire and pulls out a lighter to burn them. However, a supernatural force stops him from going through with it. He then gets on the phone with some unknown person and lies, claiming that he destroyed the tapes.
Yeah, no, the tapes are all destroyed too. They're gone. Every single one.
C-A-P Cap!
Which naturally raises the question, who is this man, who is he working for, and why did he lie about burning the tapes? Now, if you're familiar with the mainline Amanda the Adventurer lore, Amanda the Adventurer, that is not easy to say. Like, every time I record one of these videos, I hate having to say Amanda the Adventurer because it's like low-key a tongue twister. Like, Amanda the Adventurer, Amanda the Adventurer, Amanda the Adventurer, Amanda the Adventurer. Now, if you're familiar with the mainline Amanda the Adventurer lore, then you'll know Kate Park formed a secret team of investigators to take down Hamlin and rescue Rebecca. And if you're not familiar, I have a 33-minute deep dive video that goes into the complete lore of Amanda the Adventurer, which I would highly recommend you check out after this one. Not to like gas myself up, but it's pretty fire. So naturally, a lot of people in the community have speculated that this man in the woods could be one of Kate's operatives. But I have always been skeptical of this theory. First of all, Kate's team was built specifically to investigate Hamlin, and in this timeline of the pilot, Hamlin did not exist yet. On top of that, it's well established in the main games that Kate's goal was never to burn or destroy the tapes. She was actually trying to keep them intact so she could talk to Amanda and try to track down Rebecca. It was Joanne that was trying to burn them. So I don't think the man in the pilot was ever on Kate's team. In fact, whoever this guy is or whoever he's working for, I think he's completely disconnected from the main lore of the games. However, I do still think that there is a huge conspiracy regarding this forest tape that has gone completely under the radar. While this man's exact identity does remain a mystery, I do believe that the man in this tape is actually Wooly.
What?
Let me explain. There's another unlockable secret tape in this game where we are presented with a series of random images and a prompt, to which the only correct answer is Wooly. And once you type in Wooly, you are shown a map of a forest with a big red circle on it. I mean, it only makes sense. There's no way that there's a map of the forest in the previous tape and then a man going into a forest in the next tape, and that's just a complete coincidence.
I think not.
which means that there's a concrete connection between the man in this tape and Wooly. This also lines up perfectly with the previous theory of Wooly being a past victim of the show. There's also a secret code written on the wall that is related to the release date of the first Amanda game, 2023. If you type 2023 into the second tape, you get this secret ending that has a series of messages. An entity inside of the tape says, "I was just like you once, and you should have listened to that sheep." This sounds a lot like a soul trapped inside the show, saying that he used to watch the show just like the player, just like the man in the forest tape. I think that this is a past victim speaking to the player. I also think it's possible that when this mysterious man went into the woods, he was possessed by an evil spirit, similar to Sinister. And that's why he lied about burning the tapes. And after he went to the woods, he was drawn into the tapes, just like the children of Kensdale in the main timeline, and he became Wooly. And I'm guessing he can't really say anything about his true identity or else Amanda will kill him. So yeah, there you have it. Those are all of my theories on the original Amanda pilot. Given everything we've covered, the contradictions, the lore gaps, the retcons, I really don't think that this game is canon, and it would be nice to have like official confirmation from the devs. It's up to people like your boy to put the pieces together. Canon or not though, there was still a lot of cool mysteries and hidden lore in this demo, so I hope that this video and my theories helped to highlight some of those. If you enjoyed, like, sub, all that noise, guys, we're at 8,000, bro.
That is not correct.